Hey everyone, it's Cherise Stockey from Reacher Summit. Hope you're having a great day. I'm very excited. I have Dimitri from Schedule Once on the line with us today, and he's actually going to run through a demo of the Schedule Once system. So if you're using appointments for your business, you're going to love this demo. We've had this demo with Dimitri last week and we're so excited about the capabilities for booking appointments and just getting yourself organised. So Dimitri, over to you. Take us away.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sherry, for the opportunity. Hi, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. So Schedule Once is an innovative scheduling solution that allows you to completely automate scheduling with your customers and prospects. And what I'm going to be showing you today is how to set up your very own booking page, which you can use in email campaigns. You can embed it on your website. You can send it out in email blasts. You can reach out to your customers and prospects in a number of different ways and have them schedule all kinds of meetings with you. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is run you through the actual setup for creating and setting up your very own booking page. And as you can see, I am currently logged into my Schedule Once account. And I'm going to start by creating my very own link. So I'm going to go to my configuration settings here, click on New Booking Page, and set up a link. So the link can be your name, it can be your company name, it can be a combination of the two. It's really up to you. And that link is going to be only available to you once you've created it. So I'm going to create a link called Dimitri SO123 and hit create. Once I've created my booking page link, I can go ahead and start setting it up. And Schedule Once works with any number of meeting options. We're going to keep this demo short and sweet. I'm going to show you how to set up one type of meeting, but obviously if you have multiple types of meetings, that functionality is available in Schedule Once as well. So the first thing that you want to do in Schedule Once when you're setting up a booking page is determine what types of appointments you want to accept. We have a number of different options here. So if you go to scheduling options, you can work with an automatic booking or booking with approval mode. Automatic booking is fantastic if you just want to connect with your clients immediately. Have them go to your booking page link, see a date and time where you're available, and we do integrate with a number of different calendar solutions, so your availability will always be kept up to date. More on that later. But if you just want them to pick a date and time and book with you, automatic booking is the way to go. If you want to vet your customers, however, then I would recommend using booking with approval. What this does, it allows them to send you a booking request, which you can then approve based on the information that they've submitted. Next up, we've got single or multiple sessions. So if you're just scheduling one-off meetings with your customers, you need to meet with your customers just for a discovery call or for a sales consultation or something similar, then you're going to use the single session option. However, if you are a coach or a consultant and you sell your services in packages, you can select the session package option and have customers book multiple sessions. And if you have different session offerings, for example, you offer your packages in sessions of 3, 5, or 10, that can be configured as well. For this particular meeting, we're just going to use the single session option. Finally, we've got one-on-one or group sessions. So if you're just meeting your clients one-on-one, then the one-on-one session setting is the way to go. For group sessions, if you're doing classes or webinars or something like that, you can have a group session set up, and what this does is it opens up your availability to a number of people, which you get to determine. So for example, if I want this particular session to include up to 10 customers, it will make that particular time slot available until all 10 people have booked. And once they've all booked, then it will eliminate that time slot from your availability from your Schedule Once calendar. But again, for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to keep things simple. It's going to be a one-on-one session. It's going to be a single session. We're going to use automatic booking. I'm going to hit save. Next up, we've got the time slot settings. So I'm going to go over here to my time slots, and there are a number of different configuration options here that you can choose from. So first of all, the basic stuff, how long your meetings are going to be. So I can have this fixed at, for example, 30 minutes. And obviously you can have different sessions with different durations. I can have the starting times. So in addition to your availability, you can also set when you'd like meetings to start, on the hour and a half hour, or the way I've set it up here at 15-minute intervals. And the time slot spacing will adjust automatically. Now, if you'd like to add a buffer to your Schedule Once meetings and any busy times in your calendar, you can do that as well. We have a buffer setting that you can enable. So this is a two-sided buffer. What that means is if you have any busy events in your calendar, you can add a buffer. For example, in this case, let's add a 15-minute buffer to my meetings. And that means that on either side of the meeting, you'll have a 15-minute gap that you can use to kind of clean up, rest. You can use it for travel time if you're doing these meetings face-to-face and you need to get from one location to the next. You can also control the number of bookings you can accept per day or per week. So this is in addition to your availability. If you've opened up your calendar to your customers, but you want to stop them after a certain number of sessions have been booked, that can be done here as well. So in this case, I'm going to limit this to no more than 5 per day, and then no more than 15 bookings per week. Let's see here. Next up, we've got time frame rules. Okay, so this is very, very useful to make sure that you don't get blindsided by a meeting when you wake up early, bright and early in the morning, and you realize that all of a sudden you have 5 meetings in your calendar for that morning before you've had your first cup of coffee. So what this does is it allows you to provide a lead time before the meeting time. So for example, if I set up a lead time of 12 hours, I'll know when I'm going to sleep that I won't have any meetings early in the morning. Now, obviously, you can configure the duration for that as well. We also have a time frame rule for into the future, so you don't want your bookings to drift away. You don't want people necessarily booking with you in late 2018. So in that case, you would be able to change this setting to whatever lead time or whatever into the future setting you'd like to use. In this case, let's go ahead and stick to 2 months. There's another setting here that was added quite recently as a feature request, which is something that we take very seriously here at Schedule Once. But basically what it does is it allows you to only consider days with available time slots. This is mostly relevant for people that don't want to consider the weekend. So if you don't want people booking more than 7 days in advance, but you don't need the weekend to be considered because you don't offer any available times on the weekend anyway, then you would use this setting and only display, let's say, the first 7 days. So I would be able to select it here and only display the first 7 days with actual available times, and the weekend would not be considered. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to this setting here and change it to 2 months. Time zone conversion. If you're meeting with people all over the world, time zone conversion is an absolute must. You need to make sure that when customers book with you that any available times that you present to them are in their time zone. And that's exactly what time zone conversion does, is it presents your availability in their time zone, so when they book, your availability and their availability are completely in sync. Another setting that we have here, which is quite useful, is you will only display, if we select the setting here, you will only display time slots during the customer's local working hours, which you can set. So if you were, for example, based in Australia and you're meeting customers in the United States, you might consider turning this setting on so that when you show your available times to your American customers, you would not be showing them times that, while they would make sense for you, for someone in the U.S., they might be kind of very late at night or very, very early in the morning. All right. You can also turn the time zone conversion settings off if you're meeting all of your customers face-to-face, or even certain customers face-to-face. You can set up a booking page or a service where time zone conversion is disabled so they don't have to select their time zone. On another note, and this is something that we'll look at later when I show you the actual customer flow, is that Schedule Once actually detects the customer's time zone. If this setting is turned on, it detects their time zone automatically based on their computer's IP address, but they are asked to confirm their time zone just in case they're using a VPN or something similar, just so we can confirm that they are in fact in that time zone. And last but not least, the number of time slots offered per day. This is a funny little setting, and it's very, very useful to help you basically make it seem like you are not completely available throughout the day, all day, every day. What it does is it will not display more than a given number of time slots per day, even if you technically have more time slots available for that day. So for example, if I am completely available next week on Wednesday, but I don't want customers to necessarily see all 15 of my available time slots, I can limit it to, say, no more than 3 time slots per day. All right, we're done with the time slots. Let's move right along to the next set of features, or the next item on our checklist. We've got our availability. So Schedule Once handles availability in 2 different ways. We've got our recurring availability, so this is your normal kind of day-to-day, week-to-week availability. In this case, I'm going to keep the default settings. I'm available Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. If I want to change this, it's simply a matter of clicking, holding, and dragging. I can remove availability. I can add availability. I can do this across multiple days. And as you can see, it's a very, very simple, elegant interface that you can use. So again, I'm going to have my availability be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, and I'm going to hit save. Another way of handling availability is for specific days. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this. One is through the availability settings, which we're going to go look at now. Let's say that there's a particular day where you want to stay at the office just a little bit later and you do want to accept additional appointments for that day. You can go to your date-specific availability settings and say that for Thursday, April 13th, I want to add an extra hour availability from 5 to 6 p.m. This will not affect any other days, and it will not affect your recurring availability settings in any way. It will simply affect that date. All right, let's talk about calendar integration, which is very, very important, whether you're scheduling meetings that are face-to-face or virtual meetings, over the phone or Skype or GoToMeeting or any other web conferencing solution. With Schedule Once, you can rest assured that any bookings made in your account will be automatically added to your connected calendar. In terms of calendar integrations, we work with Outlook, we work with Google Calendar, we work with iCloud, Office 365, and Exchange, and that integration is two-way. It's a two-way sync, and what that means is not only will your Schedule Once bookings be added to your calendar, but any busy times in your calendar, so any events that you have in there, whether they're business events or personal events, will be automatically picked up by Schedule Once, and your availability will be adjusted accordingly. So if you have, for example, a conference that you need to be at next Tuesday, just block it off in your calendar and Schedule Once will do the rest. So in this case, there's really not much that I can show you here. I'm connected to a Google Calendar in this case, but as I mentioned, we connect with a lot of different other calendars as well. And you can connect with multiple calendars in the same platform. So if you have a business calendar and a personal calendar that you use in Google, for example, you can set Schedule Once to add events to both calendars, retrieve busy time from both calendars, and it just makes scheduling a whole lot easier. Next up, we've got location. So the location settings is somewhere where you can set up a virtual or face-to-face meeting location. I'll start with the virtual option. So if you have a web conferencing solution, for example, GoToMeeting or WebEx, Zoom, Join.me, we have native integrations with GoToMeeting and WebEx, which means that you can create a dynamic link for each appointment. And this ensures that any appointments that you have with customers, especially if you're doing meetings back-to-back, every single customer that books with you will get their own unique link, so there's no chance of overlap. However, if you use a different conferencing solution, you can also include your conferencing details here below in the other section. You can also set up a meeting to be face-to-face, in which case you can determine who provides the meeting details or the address. It can be either set by you. We do have a link to Google Maps, so when a customer books a meeting with you, if you set the meeting location, it will link that address to Google Maps. They can easily find it if they're using Waze or another navigational system when they're driving over to you, or you can have the meeting location set by the customer, in which case they would provide you with their address and you'd be able to find them that way. All right, so in this case, we're going to go ahead and use GoToMeeting for this particular appointment, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, next up, we've got the booking form. So whenever you book meetings with customers, typically you want to collect some information about them, whether these are leads or existing customers. You might be looking for things like their name, their email address, their phone number, their company possibly. And in some cases, there are other types of information that you'd like to gather. So with Schedule Once, you can actually create your own custom booking forms, and you can completely map which fields are required for your customer to fill out, which fields are mandatory, which fields are optional. You can create custom fields, and these can be different types of fields. You can have simple single-line text fields like this one here. You can have drop-down menus. You can have checkboxes. There's the possibility of adding attachments to your booking form. So if you have a document that you need your customers to fill out and sign and attach when they schedule a meeting with you, that can be done as well. And again, this booking form is accessible on a number of different levels, meaning that you can actually change the fields that are required for each type of service or each type of meeting that you offer. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Oh, actually, before I do, one other thing that I think is worth mentioning. When someone books with you, by default, once the meeting is confirmed, ScheduleOnce will send them to a confirmation page that shows them their, the meeting date and time, as well as any other details that are relevant. And then from there, of course, they'll also get a confirmation email. They can add the meeting to their calendar. However, if you would like to send your customers to a custom thank you page that you've created on your website, then you can do that as well. And you do it right here. So you can display the ScheduleOnce confirmation page for a few seconds or not display it at all, and then send them to a web link of your choice. All right, so let's go ahead and hit save and continue. Next up, we've got customer notifications and user notifications. I'm going to talk about both of these kind of at the same time because they're two sides of the same coin. So with notifications, you can determine the timing and frequency of any notifications that you send out either to your users. So users are people that are going to be using ScheduleOnce in your account, which might be you and your business partner, it might be you and your personal assistant, it might be you and your sales team or onboarding team or support team, depending on the type of business that you have. So with notifications, let's look at customer notifications in this case. I can edit what types of emails go out. I can also edit when they go out. So for example, I have 3 customer reminders set up at the moment that go out at certain intervals. The first one gets sent out 24 hours before the meeting time, the second one goes out an hour before the meeting time, and the third one goes out 10 minutes before the meeting time. I can customize these emails completely. We have a notification templates editor available in ScheduleOnce, which allows you to completely customize the look and feel of the emails that you send out. So if you want to brand them with your logo, if you want to add your profile picture, a headshot, or something similar, you can definitely do that. ScheduleOnce also allows you to send text message notifications or SMS notifications to your customers, either in addition to your emails or as a replacement for email notifications. If you want to send out a quick text message to your customers, let's say 10 minutes before the meeting time as opposed to an email, you can do that as well. And you can customize those SMS notifications just as you would with our emails. All right. There are a lot of other emails that you can send out. Obviously you'd send out an email when someone books an appointment with you. That's enabled by default. You can customize that email as well. You can also send out an email after someone is booked with you. So for example, in the reminders and follow-up section, if you want to send an email maybe a day or two after the meeting was completed, you can do that as well. All right. So let me go ahead, and of course everything that I just talked about and everything that I just showed you applies to user notifications just as much as it does to customer notifications. So you'd be able to customize all those emails, the ones that go out to your customers and the ones that go out to your users. All right, we've got the cancel reschedule section next. So with cancel reschedule, you can set up certain milestones for when your customers can cancel or reschedule with you through the system. ScheduleOnce has a very innovative feature set for canceling appointments. There's a link that's included in every confirmation email, every reminder by default that allows a customer to cancel or reschedule their meeting on the fly. Now, it's important to note that if you don't want people canceling with you last minute, this is where you would set that up. So you can say that customers can reschedule or cancel, in this case, automatically through the system up to, for example, 4 hours before the meeting. And if they try to cancel less than 4 hours before the meeting, then you can set up a policy description or text to saying that they can't cancel automatically. If there is a last-minute emergency and they simply can't make it to the meeting, then they should give you a call or send you a separate email or text you and let you know that they're not coming, and you'll take care of the cancellation yourself. Now, this really plays well into our payment integration. We offer payment integration through PayPal, and it is really a remarkable feature in that not only are you able to collect payments for your services, so if you offer, for example, a 60-minute coaching call and you'd like customers to pay upfront when they book with you rather than paying when they show up or after the meeting is over, that's something that you can do in ScheduleOnce. And you can also set up a cancellation policy and a reschedule policy that works with your payments. So for example, if they decide to cancel on you last minute, you can choose to only refund 50% of their purchase or not process a refund at all. Of course, you can always go back and process the refund manually because exceptions sometimes can be made. But the system will recognize if they're rescheduling or canceling last minute and not automatically process a refund. And for the reschedule policy, this applies to reschedule fees. So if they decide to reschedule a meeting with you, that's absolutely fine, but you do want to set up some guidelines for when that meeting can be rescheduled. And for example, if they decide to reschedule with you less than a day before the original meeting time, then you can collect a reschedule fee, and you can determine exactly what that fee amount is. It can be a percentage of what you're charging, or it can be a fixed fee. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit save and move on to the next and final section of setting up your Schedule Once booking page, and that's the booking page details. So last but not least, you can customize and kind of spruce up your booking page. You can add your own logo. You can add a headshot or other image to your booking page. You can obviously provide contact details and a welcome message, links to social media, and just a way for you to personalize your page just a little bit more. So for example, I'm going to change my name here. My name is Dimitri Aiken, and I am in charge of business development. And I've got my phone number here, and so on and so forth. All right. So now that I've set up my booking page, let's see what it looks like in action. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this link. So this is the link that you would send out to your customers. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. This is the way that they would see it in their browser. And Schedule Once is completely optimized for mobile devices. They can access this not just on their computer, but also on their mobile phone or on tablet. And as you can see here, I am now available for these types of meetings. And I can pick a meeting date. I can pick a meeting time. I'm going to change my time zone really quick because that was not the time zone that I set up for my booking page. So the times are a little bit off. And here we go. So it's converting my availability to my time zone. And as you can see here, I'm now available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you remember, there was a setting that I enabled that only shows 3 available time slots per day, and that's exactly what's happening right here. So as the customer experience is extremely seamless. All they have to do is click on your link, pick a date, pick a time, hit next, and then they fill out your booking forms. They'd enter their information, and in this case I'm just running a quick test. As you can see, most of these fields are optional, so I'm going to go ahead and skip them just for the purposes of this demo. But obviously you can make these fields mandatory as well. And all the fields that I talked to you about earlier, about drop-down menus and checkboxes and having attachments, these are all features that you can set up in your own Schedule Once account. Once I filled out my form, I'm going to go ahead and click the Done button, and I'm going to schedule my meeting. And as soon as that happens, Schedule Once is actually going to do a couple of things simultaneously. It's going to send a confirmation email to me as the customer with my meeting details. In this case, I'm using GoToMeeting, so it's going to include my GoToMeeting session details as well. It's going to give me the date and time for the appointment. I can add it to my calendar. In my case, the way that I've set it up is it automatically sends a calendar invite for my calendar, but the customer can add it to their own calendar, maybe even a different calendar if they use multiple calendars. So I can see my meeting date and time, and in this case, in Schedule Once, what happens is that the user, in this case you, would get a confirmation email saying that that this customer has booked a meeting with you. You'd be able to see their meeting details in that confirmation email, and if you go to Schedule Once, you'll also be able to see their meeting in your account. So here we have John Stewart, who scheduled a meeting for Wednesday, April the 12th at 9 a.m. I've got all the meeting details here, and I can also view the meeting in my calendar. I'm going to click on the calendar event, and it's going to show it to me here. And if I go to my calendar, let me just switch screens really quickly. If I go to my calendar, I'll be able to see the calendar event in there as well. Let's see here. Here we are. So this is the Google Calendar that I connected to my Schedule Once account. And as you can see, John's booking made its way into my calendar as soon as it was booked. I can view it in here, and it will, of course, block my availability for future appointments. So 9 a.m. is no longer available, but other time slots are. And from here, the customer can cancel or reschedule their meeting. So if I go to my calendar here, or rather my email, I can see the confirmation email that was received by the customer. So the customer, as soon as they book, as I've mentioned, they get a confirmation email with their meeting details. They can see the date and time of the appointment. They can see their conferencing information. They can add it to their calendar if they so choose. And of course, they can cancel or reschedule their meeting. So if they decide at any point that they can't make this meeting, but they would like to talk to you again, or they would like to set up another time rather, then click on the cancel reschedule link and pick a completely different time. Now, a further note on additional integrations. We talked about calendar integration, but I do want to tell you a little bit about our other integrations. We integrate with Infusionsoft. We have a very robust native integration with Infusionsoft that basically allows you to create and update contact records in your Infusionsoft account. It allows you to completely automate things like lead generation and lead qualification. It allows you to basically track leads as they make their way into your Infusionsoft account and set up an email campaign, send an email blast, or run them through your campaign builder in Infusionsoft so they can send out automated emails. And the great thing about our Infusionsoft integration, one of the great things I should say, is that because we have such a tight integration with Infusionsoft, they don't really need to fill out their details more than once. So if you already have a captured lead or contact in your Infusionsoft account, that means that you typically already have their name, their email address, and other details. Now, as I showed you earlier, when you book a meeting in Schedule Once, one of the steps is filling out the booking form with your name, your email address, your company, and other details. If you're using our Infusionsoft integration, the customer actually doesn't need to do that because you already have all their information in Infusionsoft. So what they need to do is simply go to your page. You would send them, let's say, an email blast from Infusionsoft with your link. They would go to the link, they would pick a date and time, and the booking form, which they would normally need to fill out, would already be pre-populated with data from Infusionsoft. So it saves them that step, and it makes scheduling just so much easier because they don't really need to fill out their information again. I believe that that is all for the demo. If you're interested in learning more about Schedule Once, you can always visit us at www.scheduleonce.com. And if you'd like to set up a demo or go over Schedule Once features in more detail, you can go to our link. So if you go to our website here, you can click on the Contact Us button at the top and send us a quick email or schedule a free one-on-one consultation. That's it for today, I believe, and thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
I just have a question, Dimitri, before you go.
Sure.
Just
Absolutely.
quickly. So some of our clients, they are running different CRMs. How do they integrate? I know you mentioned Infusionsoft, which is fantastic. How does it work with other CRMs?
Absolutely, great question. So with other CRMs, CRMs such as Ontraport or Agile CRM, we don't have a native integration, but we do have a very tight integration with Zapier. For those of you who are not familiar with Zapier, Zapier basically acts as a central hub that can take information from one application and pass it to another application. So in our case, what they do is they grab data from Schedule Once. So when someone books with you, it will grab the contact's name, their email address, their phone number, the date and time of their booking, and it can send that data over to a different application. So in your case, it would be to a different CRM. Depending on the CRM that you use and the type of features available to it on Zapier, you can definitely check out Zapier at, I believe it's www.zapier.com. You'll see exactly what sort of features or what sort of data can be transferred from Schedule Once to that particular CRM. And you can even set up an account and test it out with different Zaps so that you can push your data from Schedule Once to the CRM of your choice.
Okay, fantastic. Well, so much information. Thank you so much for your time today, Dimitri. We just, as I said, we had the demo with you last week and thought it was absolutely fantastic, and it certainly has solved a lot of our issues with calendar bookings, and the amazing features that Schedule Once have is just absolutely fantastic. So look, I appreciate your time today, and thank you so much for your demo, and we look forward to touching base soon.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Sherry, and thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, Dimitri. Bye.
Bye-bye.